Planters peanuts.
Oh gosh, this is full circle.
This is unbelievable.
We haven't had the. I don't know.
We haven't had these nuts on here in a long
Oh my gosh.
That's
are those
true.
from last year or are these new?
Those are
They're
new.
the ones that I've always had.
Are they?
Yeah, so
She's literally
The
had
ones
those
that
nuts
Nate ate
for
out of?
a year.
anyway, what'd you say,
I said those are the ones that Nate ate out of our very first
Yeah, that's-
week.
No, this probably is a new one. Well, actually, I think this is the replacement
Li-
bottle that
Didn't
you
Rob
gave me.
and Nate buy you replacements? 'Cause they kept
No,
eating them?
Rob wouldn't do that. But Nate definitely would, and he did. Just kidding. I mean,
Hey, what month is it?
Oh
Just
my
kidding, but
gosh.
actually.
What month is it? What month is it?
it's October.
Oh, of what year?
Rob's a time traveler. He's
I,
trying to
I
figure
feel like
out
this
what
is
day
gonna
it is.
Did he
be
just
some
look at
like
the expiration
today's your
date?
last day type of thing.
No. I was
You
just
don't
curious.
free.
Are they
you need me.
expired?
Peanuts don't expire. They're literally dry roasted,
They're dried goods.
and they're covered in salt. Do they have an expiration date on them?
They're
at all?
preserved.
Where? They're still good.
I thought they expired like 10 days ago.
Yeah.
Oh
They're fine,
yeah,
though.
it's fine.
Peanuts don't expire.
Anyway.
Yeah.
on
This is full
Hey,
circle.
free with your guys' order this week. Liv will include 5 expired peanuts.
Order quick while supplies last. They still taste delicious.
Well,
I love it.
we are starting today off strong because we have a new club member. I don't know if that was something that
Hey.
happened in between, because like sometimes they'll do it like
Yeah,
between
yeah.
and it shows up on the next live.
That's awesome.
So MK Aquatics, welcome.
Okay,
Because that was the very
welcome.
first thing in the chat.
You know what else we need to do today?
What else?
We need to give a huge shout out to Broccolini. She is taking one for the team today.
She is.
She's over in the fish building taking pHs of all of our aquariums to increase the lives of our pets. So
Yep.
Yep.
huge shout out to her. So she isn't joining us today, but she is probably watching or listening. And so huge shout out to old Broccolini.
Not old broccoli.
Young Broccolini.
Young Brock.
the young Brock. Yep.
So today is members only chat, and they are popping off in the chat already.
Are they?
Dang.
Yeah.
Members only
What were they
chat.
chit-chatting about?
Just everybody saying good morning to everybody.
Wow.
They're so
Squad's
kind.
all here.
Squad. What are they saying these days? We all fam in the club.
In the club. In the club, we're all fam.
I saw a video about that.
To be 18 again.
To be like 45 again someday.
That actually was your best comeback ever.
I can't relate to either of those.
Okay, Andy.
I'm obviously 25, so
Same.
Obviously.
Mm-hmm.
obviously.
Obviously.
Me too. I don't think I've ever looked young.
No.
I think I had a receding hairline when I was 14.
You've never looked young.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
anyway.
Well, hey, thank you guys so much for tuning in today. On that note,
Roll the credits.
are we gonna spin the wheel?
not yet. Yeah, okay, so I'll drop the link to that real quick and pin it. If you guys don't know, which most of you probably do, but if you don't,
You better
we
know.
spin the wheel at the end of the show every week. So fill out the form that I'm putting in the chat right now. It's also in the description. And you can be entered to possibly be chosen for the rock, paper, scissors off and a chance to spin the wheel.
It was
The wheel.
for me.
All right, well, are we ready for some trivia?
We're doing trivia?
Yeah.
Members only. We get to see who the most
Who
savvy
really knows?
member is.
Who really knows their stuff
Bum,
this time?
bum.
All right, first
I'm
question.
about to join membership on another account, and
Be the smartest person on
yeah.
there.
I'm about to school everybody
What do
in the
you
chat.
get when you cross a blue bolt with a red King Kong shrimp? I don't know the answer to
Blue
this,
bolt
honestly.
With a red King Kong.
Wow.
Do you actually know the answer?
Oh
to
wait,
this?
I have no idea.
no,
Really?
I don't know the answer.
I do, but I don't.
I'm gonna get a red, white, and blue shrimp. We're gonna call it
Merca.
The America
Yeah.
shrimp.
Have you seen the type of shrimp for the American Shrimp Contest? I think it looks like that. I
Yes.
forget
It's
forget
got the stars and
scientific
everything.
name, but
it is that exact shrimp,
Yeah.
actually.
That's funny. What are people saying?
Nothing.
A whole lot of nothing. Yeah.
Godzilla that can shoot lightning bolts.
no, I don't think that's it. I don't know much.
Chocolates, no.
Chocolate.
Interesting. We'll talk about
Wait. But aren't chocolates Neos?
Neos. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're in the caridina
You ain't
category
get
right now.
chocolates.
Purple or chocolate? Are there chocolate caridinas?
There's
Is there a brown?
there's brown.
I mean, there's
caridina.
brown crystal shrimp. Like, if they're not red or black, like if you mix red and black, you get brown. I mean, you get more red and black, but it eventually just starts being like a brown, ugly color. So, did anybody guess any good answers?
No.
Wow.
So that's all we got
So
on that one.
if you mix a blue bolt and a red King Kong, do you get a red or a blue shrimp?
You get both.
Wow.
Do you get...
So the babies are.
Wait,
Go ahead.
I have a guess.
Go ahead.
This might be a terrible guess. Oh, wait, I think it is.
Hmm?
It is a terrible guess.
Go
Never
ahead.
mind.
No, please.
No.
No, please. I really want to know now.
I was going to guess the blue still and red still, but then I remembered that they're not blue bolt related,
Yeah.
right? They're completely
Galaxy.
different. They just look like blue bolts.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah, they're a
I
mixed
revoke
shrimp.
my guess.
So
Well, they're-
you would get either blue bolts or red King Kongs.
Wow.
So like,
The more you know.
yeah, like if you breed a red King Kong male with a blue bolt female, you would get 50% red King Kong and 50% blue bolt.
And they would just
Feels
be
like-
what they are. It's not like a mixture. They are just straight blue bolt or red King Kong.
Yeah. Now, if you bred a blue bolt that has mixed genetics with another blue bolt, you might get the occasional red King Kong or something out of it. But most of the time, you would just get more blue bolts.
Wow.
So that's why like mixing
Interesting.
Taiwan bees is so acceptable, because like 99%
You know
of the time,
what?
the only time that you would get different stuff is if the Taiwan bee has mixed like pinto genetics.
Yeah.
So like if there's something in their genetic code that like would give you like a galaxy shrimp or something by crossing them.
I should have known this because I know that you've said before that you can mix Taiwan bees.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is I just never know exactly which ones are the Taiwan bees versus other things, and
Yeah.
that's the thing that I still need to learn
Hone
clarity
in
on.
So the more you know.
Okay.
What's
Well,
next?
If you don't know,
What happens
now you know.
if you combine a blue bolt with a black King Kong shrimp?
What?
I kind of gave the answer away.
I think
But-
I know the answer to this one.
What is it?
Either
A blue bolt,
or
a black King Kong.
This one actually gets a little different.
Oh gosh.
We really need some little music going on.
anyway,
All right. Well, is anybody taking any stabs at this? They're probably gonna
A
guess the same thing.
blackzilla.
A blackzilla. So, a black King Kong. The thing about the black and blue line is it's really close. So, the black King Kongs, the babies would turn into shadow.
Oh,
Black
yeah,
King
that
Kong.
makes sense. That's where the
So their
shadow
white
fingers
color
come
would
from.
start turning blue, and that's where you get like the blue Masuras, the blue King, or the or I guess they would call them shadow pandas or blue pandas. And it's actually really hard nowadays to find black King Kongs with solid white, because they've been mixed so much that like just the straight white gene is just not there.
Is this the one that you were telling me at one point one was more sought after than the other? Like maybe people
Yes.
wanted the blue more than the white, but now it's been like bred so much that it's actually harder to get the white, so they're
Yep.
more rare than the blue.
Yep, exactly.
I like the shadow pandas.
yeah.
too.
Which, speaking of, shameless plug, shadow pandas, which elusively have been out of stock for a while, will be in
yeah.
stock either
Today.
today or tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah, we have a lot of shrimp going back in stock today.
Yeah, I'm
It's a
excited
good day
for
for
that.
the shrimping business.
It is very good.
Let's see if anybody else had Black King Kong, mix of colors. Autumn says, I'm terrible at genetics. Same, Autumn. She says, I'm over here trying to think so hard on these questions. Currently, I just have cherries, so they just make cherries. All right, next question. Can neocaridina shrimp successfully breed with caridina shrimp?
Repeat it one more time.
Can neocaridina shrimp successfully breed with caridina shrimp? Just Chris says no. Kyle the Fountain says no. Frogs and Fish, no. MK Aquatics, no.
Wow, everybody's guessing no.
Guppy Joe says yes.
Ooh, Guppy
Hot
Joe,
take.
the odd man out.
Andrew Starn says I'm guessing, but no. Jennifer Linkus says no. IMAX says only if they take him out to dinner first. JW Farm says yes. Autumn says everybody says no, so I'm saying no.
Group think. We don't stand on that. We don't stand on that business. But hey, Autumn, you know.
I thought no. But then when Guppy Joe said yes, it made me question myself.
Well,
This is interesting. So
they don't call him Shrimpy Joe.
I know of 0 scenarios where somebody has successfully bred a caridina shrimp with a neocaridina shrimp.
Okay, that makes me feel better.
So my answer would be no. But I mean,
IMAC has a point.
if they
yeah,
take
like-
him out to dinner first, then
you got-
maybe.
Yeah, maybe if you feed them some Bacter AE and play some music for them.
Get him a nice
Play some
mat
music.
Okay,
of
so-
Java moss. Or
So Autumn Vic
Physidums.
says I don't even know the difference, to be honest.
Oh.
So neocaridina is like a cherry shrimp, a fantasy blue, a blue dream, orange sunkiss, and it's a shrimp that prefers a harder water and a pH above 7. And then caridina is generally softer water, low pH. Most people assume it's much harder to care for. It needs a more ideal setup. And then as far as the size, so like caridina shrimp are generally smaller, and I believe they have one less, like in their tail, there's different rings, and I think they have one less. Don't quote me on that, but I think that is true.
Yeah, so like,
It's
like
kinda
their
like-
scientific names aren't the same either.
They're
not-
different genuses.
Yeah.
Or genii. I always forget how you're supposed to say it.
I don't know.
I know a
think
genus is one, but if you're doing 2 genii,
I have no idea. Not
their
your girl for
genus
that.
is different.
Yes, that.
You know how like it's like
I am not a genus. Yes.
yeah. Okay. It's kind of like how horses and donkeys can breed, but like their offsprings can't. Except it's not like that, but
It's exactly like that, but it's.
but
not
it makes
like
me
that.
think of that.
Yeah.
Can a dog breed with a cat?
Oh, I feel like those are so different. Is a bear more like a cat or a dog?
A bear is more like a cat.
I agree.
Bet we can agree on something.
Yeah, finally.
We've been disagreeing a lot lately.
Anyway,
I need her,
Okay.
apparently.
you don't know
last-
the difference between a raspberry and a tetra.
You.
Someone oughta.
You or something else. Okay.
Last trivia question for the day. What results can be expected from mixing a crystal red shrimp with a blue bolt?
Ooh.
Ooh, so we talked about like blue bolt with a red King Kong, blue bolt with a black King Kong.
Okay, but this is where it gets different because they're not both Taiwan bees. The crystal's a crystal,
Whoa.
and that's a Taiwan
But
bee.
what happens?
I don't know.
I think
I told you, I think.
there's a special circumstance that happens. But I want to give chat a chance for them to guess.
I
we
know that
haven't-
it's not a blue still.
We haven't had any answers yet.
That's true.
Yeah.
And I bet you it's not a blue bolt or a black King Kong or a red King Kong or a shadow panda.
Simply Betta says the show Cat Dog was specifically about that, mixing cats and dogs.
Good point.
So Autumn Vic guesses brown question mark. Madison says crystal blue shrimp.
and we're asking about crystal red and
Crystal red and blue bolt.
and blue bolt. Oh, okay.
IMAC, you get a crystal B question mark. Kyle the Fountain, crystal brown.
Wow. No one's guessed the right answer yet.
I think. I don't know.
No, come on. You're the only one that doesn't know the answer.
I know. I'm just trying to think through. I'm honestly thinking about the shrimp contest in the different categories. I almost was going to be like, oh, maybe it's that Thai TB thing, but I think that has to do with tigers and Taiwan bees, maybe. I don't really know. I feel like I need to just go to our website and like scroll and see which one might be.
You won't find anything.
Mm-mm.
Do we have them?
Mm-mm.
No.
Oh, well then I guess that wouldn't help me.
I think
I don't
there's
know.
an elusive third type of shrimp that looks exactly like one of its parents, but it's not.
So, what would you guess if a crystal red bred with a blue bolt, what would the baby look like?
It would look like our assorted cardina tank that doesn't look like anything specific.
So,
I don't know.
is there any more guesses in chat before I give the answer?
Purple, red plus blue equals purple. That's my thought process.
That's fair.
No. So brown, crystal brown, purple.
So,
No.
you get a different shrimp type. It's called a Michelin.
Oh, well, that's
Like the
not-
man.
I've never even heard of that.
So, yeah, like the Michelin man. But
Or like the chef.
yeah, I guess. But all the babies will look just like the crystal red. None of them will look like a blue bolt. They'll all look identical to a crystal red. The only difference is all those babies will have genetics of a blue bolt. And so then if you take one of those babies and breed it with a blue bolt, now you have a 50% chance of getting blue bolt babies, a 25% chance of getting a Michelin baby, and 25% chance of getting a regular crystal red.
So
Oh, no, if you breed it with a blue bolt, then you would only get Michelins or crystal reds.
is this where
or
like?
Michelins or blue bolts.
Wait, I guess you said we don't. Oh wait, but maybe that's why. So is this where the crystal red versus the pure red line comes in?
Yes.
Like pure
sometimes.
red, like that's
Well, a
definitely not
Michelin is different than a crystal red.
Oh,
But
so it's even
sometimes
different than
people
that.
sell Michelins as crystal reds because there's no way to know unless
Yeah.
you do genetic testing.
Are you saying Michelin or
Michelin.
Michelin?
Michelin. Mischling.
Michelin. Okay, so not like the man.
Probably not, I guess. But I don't know how you spell Michelin man. But probably not Michelin.
It's Michelin.
Yeah, not the same. But hey,
Back to shrimp.
again, I'm not a genus.
So Johnny Best is asking, what do you get if you mix a tangerine tiger with a black galaxies?
Ooh, now you're getting into the crosses. So when you start getting like pintos and like galaxies, how you start getting that stuff is by taking a tiger shrimp, mixing it with a crystal shrimp, and then mixing those offspring with Taiwan bees. So like now you're mixing like
a
all
lot.
3 different categories to bring it all together. And so like I believe, and I'm not super great when it comes to like creating things from scratch just because I've never done it. But like we'll use red fancy tigers. I'm pretty sure red fancy tigers are just strictly a tangerine tiger mixed with a crystal red. And then they breed that back and forth, and then they end up getting a red fancy tiger.
So what is like a pure version of a tiger shrimp? Like what variations are there? Like is a tangerine tiger a pure tiger?
A tangerine tiger is a pure wild type tiger shrimp.
Okay.
And then there's like leopard tigers. Like there's a couple different types that like the
Aren't
galaxies. You can't make galaxies with a tangerine tiger. I'm pretty sure. You need the ones that have like all the spots on their side.
Okay.
And that's how it gets that genetic in there.
The more you know.
And then there's like regular tiger shrimp that you can breed those to get more of the stripes. So like there's a couple different types of like wild type tiger shrimp that you would use for the majority of your crosses. But
Gotcha.
tangerine tigers are the most popular one to use.
Yeah.
Because they're the easiest one to get and they're super hardy. All the other ones are much tougher to get.
They're cute too.
Yeah. Like orange-eyed blue tigers would be a really good one to mix in it, and that's how you get like the orange variations of Taiwan bees. Are the orange eye variations.
The more you know.
The more you know.
That's crazy.
I would love to get more into the genetic side of things, but we got 99 things going on, and that is not one of our focuses
Yeah.
at the moment.
A shrimp ain't one.
A shrimp. I mean, shrimp's one, but genetics. is
That
not
shrimp
one.
ain't one.
That shrimp ain't one.
Yeah. Do we have any fifth and final trivia questions today?
If we do,
Oh, we don't have a bonus
it's a
question?
secret.
No, the bonus question was kind of the stumper on your end. The can you breed the neos versus the caridina? Because I don't think we actually talked about that one.
I have a trivia question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Fourth and final. It's probably
What
not
does
I
good.
think it's fifth and
Fifth?
final.
Fifth and final.
You need me.
I'm not the numbers girl. I'm just the ideas girl and the words girl. What is this is like flip history. What was the type of shrimp that
Flipstery,
got
if you will.
Bobby started in the hobby / business? People follow along, they know.
Does that mean the one shrimp that really like got us going,
Yeah.
or the first shrimp that I ever kept?
One that really got you going in business.
I feel like I should know this.
You should. You of all people.
Because
should know
isn't it like that's how you and Amanda? Is this the shrimp that? Dang it! Which one was it?
Love shrimp.
this. Does DJM know? What?
Does anyone in the chat have any guesses?
Not yet.
I don't even know if I fully know, but
Blue Dream. Just Chris says Blue Dream. Guppy Joe says Blue Bolts. TJ Hammond says something blue.
There's a common theme.
There's a lot of blue shrimp being thrown out there.
MK Aquatic says Blue Dream.
what do you guess?
I hate that this is fleeing my memory right now.
Well, you're not 25 anymore.
Well, I am 25 and I have a terrible memory, so.
Well, you're not 18 anymore.
I don't know. I think it is one of the blue ones.
Pick one.
Lev says something blue.
Yeah, something blue.
I think it was
Royal Blue
something borrowed.
Tiger.
That's what I was thinking. Something borrowed, something new.
What do you think, Em?
I don't know. I guess I'm going to go with something blue, and I know that you do love your blue shrimp. So now I'm thinking that it is something blue.
Do you know?
I need to phone a friend.
I
Calls Amanda.
think Royal Blue Tiger, but I also know that you're a sucker for crystal reds.
Rob,
Em? You got any guesses?
I already guessed.
What'd you
Something
guess?
blue.
Something blue?
Now who's the one with the bad memory?
He's not
I
25
literally
anymore.
just said something blue.
Yeah, we didn't hear you.
Well, I heard you saying it's got to be something blue, but I didn't know that was your official
that,
guess.
that was my official guess.
Oh, well, I mean, if I was going to guess, I would say it's got to be a shrimp. Right?
Not if you were
That's
going to
a good
guess.
No, it is the Royal Blue Tiger.
Yes.
You guys got it. That
So it
good.
was
You actually
something
came up with it.
blue.
Yeah.
Royal Blue Tiger, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they were, they set things off.
Did anyone in the chat guess it right?
No, they were all blue. Blue Dream, Blue Bolts, and something blue.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, they were on to something.
They were,
Yeah.
they started us on the right track.
Yeah.
Who do we have in chat today? I know you
we
gave
have-
some names for people.
Yeah, we have MK
IMAX is in
Aquatics,
there,
Autumn
MK
Vic,
Autumn.
TJ Hammond, Guppy Joe, Just Chris, Incoming 007. That's Charles Dramont that was with us on Get Equipped with Flip last week.
Charles,
Hey,
welcome back.
Charles.
Kyle the Fountain, Johnny Best, iMac, Jody P. We have lots of people in the chat
Cool.
today. Even
Yeah,
for a
now I
members
remember
only
you saying
chat.
some of those during trivia, but
Anna Banana says she's lurking.
And a banana. And
So I'm
Frogs
just,
and Fish was here, right?
yeah.
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 Rax and... Is
Okay.
Will here?
No, I haven't seen
Will.
Will. I think he's been really busy with work lately. He
Oh
popped
my
in
gosh.
last week or the week before that and said work has been really chaotic lately, so he hasn't been
Yeah.
able to get on as much. So that's a bummer. But I'm just curious real quick before we get into the... Oh, Jenna Dukes is lurking.
Jenna!
Hey, Jenna Dukes.
Jenna's the best.
Before we get into the meat and potatoes, I'm curious how the Royal Blue Tigers brought you and Amanda together.
How far back do you want me to go?
Well, you have 2 minutes, so however
Oh,
far
let's
back you can go in 2 minutes.
You were born in like 78.
It was 1970
I used to walk
something.
3 miles uphill to school every day. Both ways.
Yeah, they didn't even have chalkboards when you were in school, right? It was like a stick in the dirt.
No, my parents literally still
It
owned
was
a horse and buggy. I remember when the first light bulb came out. We used to sit around and listen to the radio.
You used to have to like chip a rock away in order to trim your beard, right?
These things are so hard to use, you know what I mean?
Oh my gosh.
You're ignorant. I've officially got to that stage in my life where I get made fun of for being old.
Can't relate.
You can't? You're older than me.
I don't get made fun of for being old.
It's ridiculous. No, so I had this. I had the Royal Blues. They were breeding like crazy. So I was doing lots of videos on them. I was selling a lot of them. And then there was another YouTuber, a female YouTuber, that reached out to me, and I ended up selling some to her. And so she made a video like promoting them and like saying like, hey, like I got these from Rob Flip Aquatics or Lup Diesel at the time. And so Amanda watched her channel and heard of me through that video, and then reached out to me on Facebook and was like, she reached out to the business page, like Flip Aquatics. She's like, hey, I'm really interested in these. So we started talking back and forth. And then like, I remember thinking like, oh, this, like, that's crazy. Like, here's this 21, 22-year-old hottie messaging me on Facebook. I was like, this got to be a fake person.
Dang, shorty.
And so then, like, I just messaged her on there, and then, like, the next day, she found my personal page and messaged me there, and I'm like, dang, like, this got to be a fake person at this point. And so then, like, I just kept blowing her off for, like, a couple weeks, and then, I don't know.
What a jerk.
She didn't like that, so then she just, you know, she just pursued me. What can I say?
She's persistent.
She was persistent, and she won me over. That's not at all how it went, but it's very similar to that story. But I would say there was definitely a switch that I started pursuing her.
We love that.
Wow.
We do love to hear it. So yeah, so that's the story.
We love the first lady of Flip Aquatics.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Somebody's got to.
You.
It's you. That's
First
your
and
job,
foremost.
But we
Yeah.
just also love her.
Yeah.
Definitely me first.
All right. Well, are we ready to...
Stop talking.
tag
Cool.
your it?
Well, hey.
Who's it? Me?
Live.
No, we gotta start talking about mixing shrimp.
Ah. Okay. All right.
Man.
I'm intrigued because I feel like of all the topics we've done recently, like this is the one that I don't really have a clue about.
Yeah.
Me too.
You lie.
So,
I'm just excited because I have no idea any of these questions. I have no idea
Yeah.
where we're going with this.
yeah, so I think
I
there's
just get to be present.
a lot that we could talk about. We could talk about, like, what outcomes do you get if you breed certain types of shrimp? We could talk about, like, what are the cautions of mixing shrimp in the first place? So, like, there's a genetic route, and then there's also just, like, a physical environment route.
What does Chad want to hear? Or do you have a plan?
No,
I don't
I feel
want to
like-
derail your train.
John Mayer says, stop this train. I'm trying to get off and go home again. And I feel that. So I think we should start with the physical environment. Like, what is, like, why? Because I feel like we kind of caution people from mixing shrimp in certain circumstances. So, like, what are the hazards potentially of mixing shrimp, whether it's from different suppliers or just what could happen in your tank?
That's a loaded question. How much
I
time?
know.
How much time do I have to go over this question? Because like I
Man.
could get real deep, or I could stay surface level.
10:33 right now.
So we only have like maybe 17 more minutes before we have to wrap up. Do you have a lot more questions?
I can have as many questions as we need.
The chat might have questions too as you go.
5 minutes. Yeah, 5 minutes.
I was gonna say we have a lot of questions. It's
Yeah.
not the lack of questions.
My goodness. So, mixing shrimp. Your first thing that you have to be aware of, and we talk about this all the time, is the health risk. Like mixing two different shrimp from two different sources, you run the risk of like introducing a bacteria that could wipe out one of the populations. So it's always risky to add two different types of shrimp.
From
or
different suppliers.
From different suppliers. Now you go into like the genetic risk. So like even if you have the same shrimp, if the genetics aren't the same, you can get unfavorable results. So like blue shrimp I always talk about are ones that like on the neocaridina side, if you mix two types of blue shrimp, you could run into getting brown shrimp or black shrimp or red shrimp or whatever because like the genetics are off. Now, other ones like most reds you can mix together on the neocaridina side. Now, if you mix a Bloody Mary with a cherry shrimp, you're gonna get some weird browns too. And so like there's always that risk. Like yellows, like the orange and the yellows, you can probably mix and get away with it, but like you could end up getting some really bad results. And so like there's a lot of things going on in the neocaridina side that mixing them probably is not ideal. I would just line breed them. And then you move on to like the caridina side. So like what's the risk there? Most caridina shrimp can be kept together and breed and they produce things that are acceptable. So like even if you breed tangerine tigers with crystal reds, like you can get some cool patterns, some cool colors, you get some mixes. And so like on the crystal or on the caridina side, there's really not any bad results that you could get, but they will interbreed. And rarely do you have like bacterial issues on the caridina side, but it is still a risk. Like I've still seen it happen. And so, so I would say on the neocaridina side, I would never mix shrimp unless you really, really needed to, then I would just do a separate tank.
So
On the caridina side, I would say that you probably could get away with it, but I would still caution against it.
So for neocaridina, you're probably just going to end up with some wild type shrimp eventually if you
Yes.
start mixing stuff.
Yep.
As opposed to caridina, it's going to be a little bit more specific. Like we talked about,
Yeah.
you're probably going to get a blue bolt, you're probably going to get a red King Kong.
Yeah. Yeah, so like mixing like types of shrimp, like crystals, you can mix all the crystals together and you're still going to get crystals.
Yeah.
The only risk with that is like sometimes golden bee / Snow White, they will include blue bolts in there. Like super low grade blue bolts. And then now you're mixing in a Taiwan bee and now you're going to get Michelin. So like there's always like these little risks. And like a lot of times crystal reds might be Michelins like we talked about earlier. And so
Yeah.
like you might breed a couple crystal reds together and all of a sudden you got a black King Kong in there. And you're like, oh, how'd that guy get in there?
Yeah.
And so like it's just very interesting. So like for the most part you can mix tiger shrimp together, but I wouldn't recommend that because they are like if you mix a tangerine tiger with a regular tiger shrimp, like those are two wild type shrimp that would give you a really interesting result.
Yeah.
I actually don't even know what it would give you, to be honest. I've never heard of anyone mixing those, but you could. So like tigers, wild type, keep them separate. You could mix them. And then the crystals you can all keep together. You're just going to get more crystals. And Taiwan bees you can keep all together and you would just get more Taiwan bees.
Yep.
But once you cross those boundaries, that's where you get the mixes.
What then would be a potential benefit of mixing shrimp?
So like, I would say 15 years ago, black King Kongs were selling for like, I forget. There was like the first first breeding pair of black King Kongs sold for like $15,000 or something. Like it was just a ridiculous number. But they used to be extremely hard to keep alive. Now they're extremely easy to keep alive if you have the right setup. And that's because they use like crystal red genetics to mix, get Michelins, and then breed that back to get a Taiwan bee. And then now they just breed the Taiwan bees, and now it's pure genetics again. Not pure genetics, but like they only breed Taiwan bees. And that introduced a whole lot of new genetics into the bloodline, which then made it a much more stable shrimp. And so like that's the benefit of mixing them to get good genetics. The downside to mixing them is like then you don't know what you have. So like if you're mixing shrimp and you have all these crystal red babies, like, and you don't know like, is their dad a blue bold or is it another crystal red? Like I don't know. And so now you like when you're selling them, you might have to sell them as Michelins, but like actually they're crystal reds or vice versa. And then the other thing is like if you're mixing like the tigers with different types, like you never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
And then so like you have to really line breed to figure out like what it's gonna be, and like maybe 3, 4, 5 generations in, you'll have a pretty good idea. But still, the consistency isn't always there.
So even like 5 generations in, you could still get some variability.
Yeah, and it depends on how you do it. Like, there's ways to, again, I don't line breed, but there's ways to like, you breed, this male with this female, and then they have babies, and then you take the male and you breed it to the babies, and then you get babies from that, and then you take the same male and breed it to that baby again.
Yeah.
And then at some point, you'll have a stable enough line that you can take the babies of that generation and breed those with another line that you're working on and cross them back, and then you get a stable shrimp.
Yeah. That all seems real complicated.
Yeah, it's like,
People that do that have some intense dedication.
well,
Or do you think
I
they
mean,
do it by
shrimp are
accident?
pretty easy. I wouldn't even say by accident. Like, if you know you have one male in a tank, right?
Yeah.
And then you put 5 females in there, you know every female is going to be bred from that male.
Yeah.
So you know all those babies are that male's babies. Then what you do is like, you don't care about the males that generation produced. You only care about the females. Now you remove the 3 original females, or 5 or however many, and you pick 5 females from the babies, and then you breed that back to the males. So now you know that male bred with those. So now you're on generation 2, and then you take the 5 best from there and breed those back to the male, and you keep using the same male, and that's where you're going to get the majority of the genetics. And then the females are the ones that you're using. So you might only use like a small portion of each group that you get,
Yeah.
and it's only the desirable ones. And then at what point you get to like a really solid line is usually like 4 or 5 generations in. So like it's very similar to like, I would say like guppy breeders do
Yeah.
it a lot, and like following what they do.
Yeah.
It's so if you have small enough tanks and you can keep them separate, then
Right.
I'd say it's pretty easy.
I guess
like,
that's kind of what I was thinking of, is like, just if there's all these shrimp swimming around in a big tank, it's like,
Oh yeah, like if you had a tank like this, you would never be able to do
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Never.
I had another question about that. Oh, I feel like I should know this, but I don't. What is the lifespan of a typical caridina shrimp?
So a lot of people say 2 years. If you keep them at a low temperature, so like 68, I would say 3 to 5 years.
Okay.
And then once they get to like that 3 to 5 year mark, like they still breed just as much, but they become better moms, which means they can hold more eggs. Like they're experienced.
Yeah.
They don't drop them early. So like your later batches are like huge.
So, do male shrimp, are they similar to male humans, where they can just like breed kind of an indefinite amount, and it's kind of female dependent on the
Yes.
breeding frequency?
I would guess yes.
Okay, because I guess that's kind of what I was thinking about the dedication part too. Is like, well, how long does it take for a male to like keep breeding with
Yeah.
females or whatever? So I guess it's at line breeding, then it's more dependent on how quickly the babies mature
Yeah.
than it is on how much the male can produce.
Yeah, we had Nico get a quit with Flip, which Nico is an international breeder and
Yeah.
he's really good. He's out of France. And I think he does 1 male to every like 6 or 7 females, like something like that.
Okay.
And so 1 male can handle that much.
Yeah.
And then any more than that, maybe the male wouldn't be able to find the female in time or something like that. And then it just slows down production.
So that probably plays a part in tank size too, as you probably need a small enough tank that they can find each other.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say most shrimp breeders use 5 or 10 gallons. I prefer 20-gallon longs just because, like, it's more stability.
Yeah.
But, like, if you're going for the genetic realm, like, then I would do, like, the smaller tanks, like 5.5 and 10
Okay.
gallons.
Interesting. So with tank size, I feel like water quality, water parameters are something that it's kind of a loaded pool of things that all kind of play off of each other. So how important is water quality in the mixing and breeding, potentially, I guess, of different types of shrimp?
So if you're mixing different types of shrimp, so like tangerine tigers, for example, like the parameters for them, they prefer a little bit harder water versus Taiwan B. So if you're going to mix them, like even like regular tiger shrimp prefer a pH above 7 for the most part. And so mixing them with the Taiwan B is hard. So that's where it's easier to use a male tiger shrimp and female Taiwan Bs, and then you match the female parameters.
Interesting.
So the male will still probably breed even if it isn't favorable,
Yeah.
like just because like that's their nature. And then you want the females to be able to carry the eggs to term.
Yeah.
And so matching their parameters is more important.
That makes
Does that
sense.
answer your question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I guess also, like, obviously we've talked about this plenty of times, but if you're trying to mix caridina and neocaridina, water parameter wise, you're gonna have to kind of pick one,
Yes.
and then one of them is gonna thrive.
Caridina and neocaridina, I always pick a parameter that I'm going for. So like, what shrimp do I want to breed more? If I want to breed caridina more, then I will do the water parameters of the caridina. I'll never try to meet in the middle, because then like you're just hurting both of them. So like I always pick one, aim for that, and then at the other ones, if I want to add them in, they're just, if they end up doing good, fine. If not, then they're just there and they can live out their lives.
Yeah. I'd hate to be the unfavored shrimp.
No, I wouldn't either. That's why it's best to just have species only tanks, unless your goal is to mix shrimp.
Yeah. But I going back to what you were talking about of like matching the females parameters, I like what you said there, because like I think like when you go home you should make sure that your thermometer is set to what Amanda likes, and I think my boyfriend should do the same, and I think Cody should do the same for you.
I agree.
And I already trust that Andrew does that for you.
Does Andrew set the proper temperature in the house to
Yep.
to fit your needs?
Yep. It's not no furnace broken, having to have a space heater and 7 hoodies.
Yeah, you do not do a very good job with matching the female parameters here at Flip
Oh
the
yeah,
Box.
that is true.
Oh my god.
At least I provide heaters for you guys to,
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
to set your own ideal temperature in your offices.
Yes.
Rob's
You
the
actually-
breeder and we're just the shrimp.
Anywho,
Anyway. Okay, so I think the topic of like different types of shrimp outcomes is interesting. So one of them that I've been wondering about is the yellow calico. Like, what is that derived from? Do you know?
So most of like the pintos and calicos, like they're all mixes, and a lot of them like you just don't know. So like I know that there's a couple people in the United States that like breed a lot of different types of shrimp, and they always say like, oh, I created these from scratch, this, that, and the other, and like yeah, some of them probably have, a lot of them probably didn't. But in Taiwan, like they literally will just throw like a bunch of shrimp together and
Yeah.
then get a cool looking shrimp and then try to line breed for that shrimp. And so like I don't know what goes into it, but like there's like a and don't quote me on the names, but there's like a general mix that is like a crystal red and tangerine tiger, and that has a name. And then you take that and maybe that's a Thai bee. And so it's like a tiger and a bee shrimp mix. And
Yeah.
then there's a Thai TB, which is a Thai bee mixed with a Taiwan bee.
Yeah.
And so like there's all these different mixes, and then like once you get to a certain generation, then you can like really start breeding it for a certain type. But yeah, like I don't know what goes into a lot of those.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot.
There's a lot.
Hey, if anyone is really inventive out there, let's get a 23andMe for some shrimp going.
And just trace back the genetics.
We'll hold a little shrimp over a petri dish and have them spit into it.
It might work. No, you
Maybe.
can send some. You can send some off for genetic testing.
Yeah.
Just to see like what they are and where they came from.
I guess that makes sense if you're trying to line breed.
Yeah. A lot of people do it for like cories. Like there's a lot of different types of cories out there, so they'll send like clippings of their fins, and then have that genetic coded.
Yeah. There's so many types of cories.
So
Yeah, I remember Eric talking about that.
And there's so many
Yeah.
that like look the same, but they have a different
Oh yeah,
they're like
they're collected from a different place, so it makes them a little bit different.
Even like the when we first introduced the panda cories and the bandit cories. I mean, we've had pandas for a while, but we got bandit cories this year. And the first time we got them in, we're looking at them, we're like, they don't look that different.
Yeah.
And like so now we realize that the bandits have like a black stripe going across their back too. But the first batch we got in, it like wasn't very prominent, and it was
Yeah,
like,
you guys were
what
like,
is going on here?
Yeah, it is interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
cories definitely are one. Same thing with like guppies and antlers. Like, there's so many different types, and like
Yeah.
people mix guppies and antlers, so like, then you don't know if it's a
Everything's a mutt.
guddler,
Forgot about the guddlers.
guddlers.
Yeah. So back to shrimp. Taiwan bees are also a lot more hardy than they were before, right? Is that similar to what you were saying before with like the King Kongs?
Yeah, so we talked about it a little bit earlier. So like the Michelins really played a huge part in that. So mixing a Taiwan bee with a crystal shrimp, and then being able to breed out like a true crystal or true Taiwan bee from that, and then restabilize that line. Like I think
Yeah.
that's where they really got the stability of that line. Because for a long time, like when I first started, like keeping Taiwan bees was like a really hard thing to do.
Yeah.
And so like
And maybe stuff like that is why caridina get kind of a bad rap for
Absolutely.
being difficult. It's
Yeah.
like they were, but
so like nowadays the only reason Taiwan bees are difficult, or like caridina in general, is because people have to have a specific setup for them. Like you can't just throw them in your tank and expect them to do well.
yeah.
Ooh,
We talked about that a
These
couple weeks
guys.
ago. Like
I love this tank.
there's the initial setup that's kind of intense, I guess, and
Yeah.
then once you have that, it's
Once you
pretty
have
easy
the
to
initial
maintain.
setup and you know how to like maintain those
Yeah.
parameters, like you're fine.
Yeah.
And then it's just let them do their thing. So
Yeah, I think it's similar to what Charles was saying with discus. Is like you just have to try it. Like don't let the one thing make you afraid to try it,
yeah.
and also don't let a failure stop you from trying it again. Like
Absolutely.
again, I know Bougie. She had tried a few different iterations of caridina shrimp.
None of
But
them
now-
did well.
Now she's killing it.
Is she?
Yeah,
Good job.
killing the
Bougie.
caridina game.
Yeah,
So.
wasn't she breeding like a purple one?
She's always breeding something. I don't know. I can't keep track.
Old bougie. Are there any questions in the chat? I want to make sure
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
answer a few.
we
of
have a
those.
few. Let me scroll up and find it again real quick.
That was my next question.
Was it really? Hey.
I don't know what he's talking about, but just Chris said, "What's Rob saying about Skittles tanks?"
Oh, I mean, I don't know what my saying would be. Skittles tanks. So like a Skittles tank, just so you guys know, for everyone watching that doesn't know what it is, it's basically a mix of colors of neocaridina shrimp. So like orange, yellow, blue, green, black, red, so on and so forth. And the only reason people do that is because they don't really care about breeding them. They
DJM told me what you're saying is
what?
Skittles tanks turn into Snickers.
I say that?
I guess so.
You have said that.
Oh. Skittles tanks turn into Snickers. I don't ever remember saying that, but I mean, it makes sense. Skittles tanks turn into raisins. That's
Yeah.
gotta be
So
better.
because with neocaridina, they're pretty much just going to end up wild type once you start mixing
Yes.
them with different
Yep.
colors.
Yeah.
Pretty much all of the offsprings are just going to come out brown.
I mean, not all of them, but like now they have the genetics that would be bad.
Yeah.
So like, even if you separate out all the orange babies, there's a chance that like you're gonna get brown shrimp out of those orange
Yeah.
babies now. So yes, like eventually, if you let them breed long enough, you would get all brown shrimp.
Yeah. So like we have a call tank, and obviously the calls aren't the most optimal coloration anyway. That's the whole
Yeah.
point. But they've bred a little bit, and like they're just funky little fellas.
They're so pretty.
Funky little fellas.
Yeah,
Can we
they're-
change
I
the
mean, they're
listing
calls for a
name?
reason.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to go look at that.
They're
pond.
the undesirable shrimp as far
Yeah.
as colors go.
Yeah, because it's not like our prime shrimp we're breeding with other prime shrimp.
No,
Yeah.
they were already low end
Yeah.
shrimp, and then now they're producing even lower end shrimp.
They still have a purpose, though. I mean,
Yeah,
They keep their tank
anytime
clean.
anytime we put those in stock, like they go fast.
Yeah.
People like them.
We're getting ready to put some in stock, but they're not actually the low end shrimp. They're just they're shrimp that we just need
We just
to
have
figure
excess. Yeah.
There you go. Keep your eyes peeled. Jennifer asked, this is a statement, I guess. You can mix blue jelly neos and red neos to get really. Is that how you get release?
So, blue jellies, if you breed them long enough, you'll find that they will actually revert into release. So blue jellies are bred from release. So, in theory, you can breed blue jellies with cherry shrimp, and you would get red release. But that's only because the blue jelly was bred from release. So like you're just basically like forcing the genetics to go backwards. Which, if that's what you want, then absolutely.
Let's see. I know this is. Hold on. I'm trying to see if there's any more on-topic ones before I
I
ask
don't know why
this
I
one.
always yawn in here. Something about this room.
It's
Dude,
peaceful. It's like,
is that what it is?
so whenever I'm like not even sleepy, but a little bit, if I put my dogs outside, let them enjoy the sunshine, and then I just have like the humming of my like AC or furnace or whatever, you know, like kind of like the humming of the pumps that we get,
Yeah.
but everything else is quiet, and it's just like, in here we have the trickling water and whatever, puts me right to sleep.
Yeah, it is nice in here.
We should get a hammock in here.
Love that idea. Let's get
Do you know anyone that has a hammock stand?
so there was this chick on Facebook Marketplace that was
Please take it.
it was kind of
Are you-
embarrassing. She was like desperate to get rid of this
Did
hammock
anybody
stand.
buy it?
No.
She had one offer. Didn't you have one offer?
I had a couple offers,
And
and
you
then
turned them all down because you decided,
yeah,
don't
I was
keep it.
having attachment issues, so I kept it.
But maybe that's just your excuse to why you still have it. Maybe no one's.
I have
reached
the
out.
evidence. I have it.
I have the messages. I can prove it.
This
That's
one
fine.
is off topic,
You have a
but
hammock.
do we have any idea when we'll have more rotala stem plants and water lettuce back in stock on the website?
Yeah, so water lettuce, we have some that we are growing out right now, so we have a consistent supply. So it might still be a little bit before we have a good supply of that. And rotalas are like a specific type they're looking for.
Just said rotala.
We should have some in stock now.
Yeah.
I can't quote, like, I don't know for sure how much, but we should definitely have some.
Yeah, I mean, we update our plant stock weekly, so
Yeah.
If you're looking for plants, Monday
Yeah,
is
there
usually
are
the
some
best
rotalas.
day.
yes, Mondays are the best days.
Maybe there is a specific one
Maybe
they were looking
Tuesdays.
for that, because we do have
Yeah,
a
Tuesdays
few
are
in
great.
stock.
Tuesday's the best day to order plants.
I think that's it for questions.
Well, that's good timing.
Is it time for the wheel wheel?
It's time
Got
for
a
the
few
will
more
will.
moments.
Dude, I'm so excited. So I'm going on a hunting trip. I leave today and then I'm gone this weekend. And I am so excited for the plane ride. Literally, I'm going to sleep the whole time.
Are you?
You know what the worst is? So like sometimes you'll sit next to somebody that's just like a chatty catty.
Yeah.
And
Chatty
then
catty.
it's
I've
terrible.
never, like pretty much never gotten to ride on a plane where I didn't have two people who like came into my, I always get stuck in the middle somehow,
What?
but like people on either side of me are like impeding in my space.
So you
I
can't sleep?
Yeah, I like almost never have a good plane ride.
I just always start off the plane ride with the expectation that these armrests are both mine.
You're one of those.
Yeah.
No, I like
People like
I'll
you or
usually
like people
take
like
one
me
and
have
then
a
give the
terrible
other
time.
one. Oh no! Like, and then like if they're like crowding my space, I'll like nestle into them, and then they'll move.
Yeah, if anyone ever
You just gotta play you gotta play
Oh
into
my
it.
Yeah.
goodness.
Like, hey, I don't care if we touch, but like
start
I'm
snuggling the stranger
I might
on the
sleep
plane.
on your shoulder if you keep it up.
Oh my.
And if you want that, I'm here for
I
it.
might hold your hand if
Braxton asked what you're hunting.
you don't act straight.
White-tail deer, and then maybe access deer, and then maybe pigs.
pigs.
Maybe.
Those boas.
Would you
Those
like
wild
to?
boars.
I think it's important that you practice for this hunting trip. Would you like to give us your best pig call?
Oink, oink.
I don't,
Oink, oink.
I don't think you're gonna get him. I don't think you're gonna have much success.
What would be your best pig?
I
Can you
don't-
give me your best
I
white-tailed
don't
deer
hunt.
call?
I don't hunt.
Come on.
Say, come here. I'd say run,
Run, deer, run.
run.
Hunting is just the most relaxing thing.
I honestly think it
The
sounds
last-
terrible.
The last like 4 years I've hunted, I haven't killed anything except when I went on my last hunting trip.
Mm-hmm.
But like around here, I'll just go and sit in the woods for hours and just hear the birds and just chill.
Yeah.
And then the deer will come in, I'll just watch them. Like now, if I saw one that like looked really good, I would
Yeah.
take it. But like, I would just sit there and watch them.
You said in a tree
Braxton
stand?
said, "Oh, you're
Tree
going to
stand,
Texas."
Yeah, just Chris said, Rob, come to Texas. I'll take you hog hunting.
Hey, that's where I'm gonna be.
That's literally
I'm
what
literally
I
gonna be in Texas.
Okay, last question real quick before we switch over. Someone, Jennifer asked, how many shrimp can you have in a 10-gallon? Is there a limit?
I mean, how many could you have? You could have 100, but how many would I recommend? 10.
That's a very big difference.
Yeah.
What? It's much different.
It's just like our 20-gallon tanks next door. Like, we have some that have 300 Mirror boars in them. Do I recommend anyone to do that? No. But can you? Yes. And so, like, with the shrimp, like, if I had a 10-gallon tank and I knew I was going to take care of it, I would probably have, like, a breeding group of 10 to 20 shrimp in it, and then, you know, however many babies.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you want to have a tank at home that you're just enjoying, you definitely don't want to overstock it. Because, like,
Yeah.
we have people who their
maintenance.
entire job is maintaining tanks at a high stock level. And, like,
100%.
you want to enjoy your tanks at home. You don't want to be
You
a
don't wanna be
slave
doing
to your tanks
tons
at
of
home.
work on
Yeah,
them.
so.
Like, our 20-gallon tanks, we stock them with, like, 200 to 300 shrimp. But I would never recommend that for, like, a hobbyist.
Yeah.
So.
All right, you
Question.
guys ready for this range?
Yep.
I'm ready.
All right.
I'm calling my number as soon as I can. So we don't take it again.
Let's do 674 to 701.
Ooh.
674
693.
to 701.
Okay, you are JW Farms.
What'd you say?
693.
97.
97. You are Katester 315.
Let's go, Katester.
J.
Women representing women. Let's go.
Men representing men. Let's go.
Doesn't have the same ring
Actually,
to it.
Doesn't?
No.
I'm sexist. You're not.
If I lose this week, I'm quitting my job and I'm filing a claim with the Better Business Bureau. I hate women.
I'm going paper.
All right. Ready?
Not
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Well, everybody just wait a few weeks because once I file this claim, Flip Aquatics is going out of business and that livestock will be on clearance.
If we're not operational in 3 months, you'll know what happened.
Oh my god.
Did you didn't think I would go paper?
I did think you would go paper, but I was already committed to rock.
Earl, were you?
Yeah.
I was going to go scissors, but I didn't want to be that guy.
Autumn said, "Would you like a link to the Better Business Bureau?"
Braxton
Autumn,
says,
please.
I'm buying them out.
Please.
J.
Braxton
Dub
is our new
bringing
boss.
the dub.
Oh.
All right, let's spin it.
JD says, bye, Liv. Nice knowing you and the Flip fam.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me here on Coffee with Flip for a year. It's been
Yeah,
great.
it's been our 1 year.
Happy 1 year! We did forget to talk
We
about it.
did.
Oh, the dreaded $25.
It's been
Not
so
the
long
dreaded.
since we got
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it has been a while. I do like that one better than the $100 gift card, though.
Yeah,
I think we should do this one more often.
All right, well,
That's pretty
JW Farms, I will send that to you here shortly.
cool. Let's
Cool.
go.
Any other announcements we have as we wrap up
Yeah,
today?
we have just a few.
Did you guys know this is our 52nd?
Yes.
I had literally no idea.
That's kind of
Happy
crazy.
1 year of doing coffee.
Did you
Happy
know
1
that
year.
this will be my last appearance on Coffee with Flip?
No, we actually talked about this is my last appearance and you have to do this.
Yeah, next week it's just leather M and an empty couch.
It's just us talking.
No,
to each
it'll
other.
be you two talking and then broccolini on the couch.
Other announcements.
Yeah.
Friday we have Guppy Joe's Fish Room Tour for members only.
Whoop.
Nice.
So
We need to
that
place a
is
Guppy order.
Friday at 2. So join us live for that. Basically, it's kind of like a watch party. He made us some videos, and then he's going to be on there with us to answer any questions you guys have.
Is he coming up or he's like zooming
No,
in?
He'll be in the chat, and then I don't know if she's going to have him join like on camera or what that looks like,
Gotcha.
but he will definitely be on the live, at least in the chat to answer questions.
Cool.
Nice.
And then shrimp contest, Aquashella Daytona. That closes in less than a week, I think.
Wow. Time
Or
really
maybe April.
That is
does
coming
fly.
quick.
Yeah,
Aquashella is
So many.
next weekend.
it's wild.
We need to reach out to some of those Florida places and set up some
We do.
tours.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Aquashella. That's the other thing. We're going to be there. We're going to have a booth. So let us know if you're going to be there so we can keep
Yeah, we want to hang out with you guys.
Yeah, I know Andrew Starn said he's coming. I don't know of
Cool.
anybody else right now.
Let us know in the Discord.
Yes.
Yeah, please do. Please do.
Yeah, that's all. That's all.
We're going to
the
be having
announcements.
coffee and donuts every day. But you get there early. So do the VIP ticket. You can get in early and hang out with us and enjoy some coffee and donuts. It's free.
Yep.
Free.
Free.
Wow.
That's a deal. Tank Girl 71 says she'll be there.
Vote Liv. Class president.
Anybody else going to be there?
Were you class president when you went to school?
No.
What were you, secretary?
I was president of my workplace.
Were you?
Kind of.
Yeah.
That's fair.
She was the president for the people.
Yeah.
Were
I
you-
was the people's president.
Were you
Yeah.
MVP of the chess team?
No.
I could see that.
I was the captain of the volleyball team.
Were you?
I don't know why. If you see how much I could jump,
I don't know
Didn't
it
Why?
wouldn't. The decision would not make any sense. But sometimes it's not.
It was
what
your
you can do,
leadership,
it's
Liv.
how you can lead.
Yeah.
And let me tell you,
You were the wrong person for the job.
14 to 18-year-old girls need someone
Like you?
to help them facilitate decision making. It's terrible.
Aw, Katester said, what a fun live stream. I look forward to Wednesdays every week because of Coffee with Flip.
Aw, thank you. Hump day.
Whoop, whoop. Something's got to get us through.
Something's got to do
Were
it.
Yeah.
you captain or president of any committees or teams?
I was vice president in my school, and it was
The
because
whole
of,
school.
no, just my class. Only because it was the one oh no, I lied. I didn't want to be vice president. There was too many responsibilities. I was treasurer. Because all
you're
I had
the
to do
numbers
was,
guy.
all I had to do was
Nerd.
count money. It was so easy. I was like, I'll be treasurer because that's the least amount of responsibility.
Oh my goodness.
Yep. And that was it. Pretty low key.
Kind of embarrassing.
Kind of embarrassing.
I didn't realize I was working for such an unaccomplished guy. But I mean, like with that many years under your belt. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
All right. Well, unfortunately, I'm getting the signal that we need to end this now.
Yeah.
Did
It's
somebody
the
give
time.
you the signal?
No.
It's-
It's me.
Liv gave herself the signal.
Yeah.
Kyla Fountain says, y'all are awesome. Just so y'all know this, include the chat. Oh, I think he's saying because we include the chat.
Well, we appreciate
That's,
it.
that's the best part.
You guys are
honestly.
awesome just for being here and watching.
Yeah.
And
Without the
being a part
chat,
of
this is just Tuesday.
it. Yeah.
Like it would be like a Tuesday. Obviously, it's Wednesday, but
I was like, it's actually.
but I'm like without the chat, it's just like every other
Yeah.
moment of every other day
Yeah.
of the week.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's my
honestly.
Hey.
Honestly.
If we didn't do this, it'd just be like Monday. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's not how I sit.
Oh my goodness. Where's that signal?
Anyway, do you hear the
Cyrus?
sirens?
I do.
I do.
I hear that.
What the heck? It is tough being in Warren, Ohio.
I'm just the ideas girl. I'm just ideas girl.
Thank you guys for tuning in this week.
Hey,
If
hey,
you've
Em,
enjoyed
you want to
this-
come sit next to us?
Not really, actually. I'd like to
She has
end the live stream.
She has to end the live stream.
Did you roll the credits yet? Because my God.
No.
Listen,
I didn't get
You
the
guys have to do the
signal.
sign off.
Whoa.
The
if there's
official
been any
signal.
part of today that you guys have enjoyed even a little bit, please
Consider
hold on
joining
to
us
that.
next week. We'll be much
Are you an
more
African
well-behaved.
dwarf frog right now?
No, that would be more like this.
Touche.
Oh my
That's
god.
All
hilarious.
right.
So something about God blessing us and
Yeah. Thank you guys
a
so
flip
much for
side.
tuning in. I apologize for Liv's behavior today. But I do appreciate the other two staying on topic. And next week you probably won't see Liv here, and I'm sure there's a lawsuit to follow.
Yeah, like I said, like 2 to 3 weeks probably. Flip Aquatics, 99% off.
Everything's a penny.
Yeah, legal fees aren't cheap.
No, they're not. No. I wouldn't know. But I've heard.
Yeah.
But hey, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Liv, why don't you close this down today?
We appreciate you joining us today and all the other Wednesdays. God bless, and we'll catch you on the flip side.